Okay, now that you have read chapter 9 of the Watsons Go to Birmingham, it's time to check to see how carefully you were reading. And so we're going to do this through the Ed Puzzle using these common lit questions. There are 4 multiple choice questions. I'm sorry, there's only 3 multiple choice questions. And then we have 1 short answer question. Okay. So you can use your book if you need to go back and check things and take your time because there are such a few number of questions. You really want to make sure that you think carefully about each one. All right, I'm going to read the question to you and all 4 choices. And I want you to remember to use your process of elimination when you have multiple choice questions. If you know an answer is wrong, eliminate that, and then you can narrow it down to maybe 2, and then you have a better chance of getting the right answer. That's always a good strategy when you have multiple choice questions like these. So question number 1 is, what does Dad mean by, and this is what he says, he's got to realize the world doesn't have a lot of jokes waiting for him, on page 123. What does Dad mean by that? We're making an inference here. He's got to realize the world doesn't have a lot of jokes waiting for him, on page 123. So you can go to that page if you want to look at it, but I'm going to read through the answer choices. Is it A, does he mean growing up in a racist world will require Byron to have more serious experiences than he's used to? Or do you think it's B, Byron must know that most adults don't have a sense of humor, so Byron needs to learn to be serious? Or does Dad mean C, being immature and joking around won't help Byron get a good job when he is older? Or does Dad mean D, Byron thinks the world is a peaceful place and he is wrong? So which one of those answers really shows what Dad means by that quote? Number 2, which piece of evidence best supports the idea that it takes a lot of practice to learn how to be an adult? I'm going to read that again. Which piece of evidence best supports the idea that it takes a lot of practice to learn how to be an adult? Okay, which piece of evidence supports that idea? Is it A, there are some things that Byron has to learn and he's not learning them in Flint? Okay, that's on page 122. Or is it B, I didn't really know how these white people could hate some kids so much? That's page 122 to 123. Or is it C, you'll learn from the mistakes your mother and I make, just like we learned the mistakes our parents made? Okay, that's on page 125. Or is it D, the only one who didn't do anything to get ready to go to Alabama was Byron, page 129. Which one of those quotes or those pieces of evidence supports the idea that it takes a lot of practice to learn how to be an adult? Number 3, how do Mama and Dad hope Birmingham will affect Byron? How do they hope that Birmingham will affect Byron? Is it A, they hope Byron learns to take school more seriously because school will have the biggest influence on his future? Or is it B, they want Byron to learn how to make friends so that he has the support of others during such a serious time? Or C, they hope it will help him understand the seriousness of racism so he is prepared to face it as he grows up? Or D, they want Byron to appreciate his siblings more because there is nothing more important than family? So which one of those ideas or what Mom and Dad hope Birmingham will affect, how Birmingham will affect Byron? All right. And then the last one is a short answer. This should be several sentences long. I know it looks at least a paragraph, I would say. Okay, not just a 1-sentence answer. I really want you to come up with a paragraph for this. So here's the question or the prompt. What specific scenes in this chapter help the reader understand the importance of the Watsons' trip to Birmingham? Why is this trip so important? There's 2 scenes that really help help you understand why this trip is so important. Okay. So if you need to go back and look and skim through the chapter to find those scenes, that's fine. But once you think of them, I want you to describe the scene. Okay. What was going on in the story? And then use detail so I know that you're understanding the story. And then tell me why that scene shows that it's an important trip for the family. Okay, so 2 scenes with evidence, and explain why those scenes are show that it's an important trip for the Watson family. After you do that, you're all done.